Conor McGregor and Artem Lobov used to be the best of friends, and now they're going through a huge fallout, and it's over millions of dollars. But what exactly happened between these two that led to this? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be discussing in today's video, so stay tuned and find out all the drama that's been stirring up between these two. First up, the fallout of Conor McGregor and Artem Lobov. It all started back in 2018 when Khabib Nurmagomedov slapped Lobov, and McGregor didn't take it lightly. He filled an airplane with all his friends, flew from London to New York City, and tracked down Khabib in a parking lot. When he found Khabib on his bus, he threw a whole dolly at his window. This became one of the most controversial moments ever, all because of a slap. But McGregor's actions had consequences. When he turned himself into the 78th precinct in Brooklyn, he was charged with 3 counts of assault and 1 count of criminal mischief. The iconic Octagon announcer Bruce Buffer condemned McGregor for his dangerous behavior and told TMZ McGregor on all of us at UFC. But it showed us one major thing. Conor McGregor wasn't afraid to stand up for his friend. He made it clear that no one would mess with Lobov while he was around. Unfortunately, the friendship between these two men has been broken, all because of money. Next up, what went wrong? Ever since Floyd Mayweather lost against McGregor in the 10th round back in 2017, McGregor has been on a financial winning streak. He created his own whiskey brand, Proper 12, and as of 2021, he earned $600 million in profits from selling his stake in the company for $150 million. This is what Lobov is so upset about because apparently he feels entitled to part of this huge payout that McGregor made. According to the Irish Independent, Lobov says he used to be McGregor's teammate at the Straight Blast gym in Dublin. He should have been given a portion of this massive income, but it seems like Lobov isn't getting any closer to his goal anytime soon. According to Lobov, he was instrumental in helping McGregor build Proper 12 whiskey and has now demanded a 5% stake in the purchase sale, which amounts to around $30 million. Lobov's lawyer, Dermot McNamara, stated that they had issued high court proceedings in order to enforce an agreement with Conor McGregor regarding Proper 12. In response, McGregor took to Twitter in a challenge directed at Lobov. He challenged him to a fight for the entirety of the Proper 12 whiskey brand at 10:30 p.m. that night in SBG Concord. The tweet has since been deleted. According to a spokesperson for McGregor, Lobov's accusation is baseless. Conor McGregor put in immense effort to create and promote Proper 12 from the ground up, and this claim simply has no merit, they told The Mirror. Conor McGregor told Lobov on Twitter that he was expecting to see him at SBG, the gym they've been training at for years. Moving on, Lobov never showed up at SBG. Well, Lobov never showed up. It was reported that McGregor should be up at SBG at around 10 p.m. expecting Lobov to be there. After all, they've sparred together many times over the years, but this time Lobov was nowhere to be seen. McGregor posted a photograph of himself outside the gym on Instagram wearing an Ireland shirt and face covering with his dukes up in the air. According to The Mirror, he could be heard joking that Lobov was in the trunk of his car. If he really wanted some of the money, then he should have probably shown up at the SBG. Finally, could these two ever fight in the UFC? McGregor and Lobov's disagreement has been a hot topic among the MMA media and fans who are now questioning if a potential fight between them could be big business for the UFC, but it remains unclear whether Dana White would sanction such an event. After all, Lobov had left the UFC years ago with a 3-fight losing streak, which means that this type of contest wouldn't be in the UFC's best interests. Plus, White has previously stated that he doesn't like to promote one-off fights and prefers those with a greater purpose that can build up to something more significant. A greater purpose for McGregor could be to come back against a higher-ranked athlete inside UFC and see just how far up the rankings he can go before challenging for a championship title. It looks like it's more likely that the fight between McGregor and Lobov will take place in a courtroom rather than in the ring. Now let's look at some of Conor McGregor's biggest controversies. Conor McGregor is known for being one of the most controversial UFC players of all time, and that bus attack we talked about earlier wasn't even the beginning of it. Here are a few more examples of him being an absolute berserker. First up, senior citizen beater. 50-year-old Desmond Keogh was just enjoying a drink at the Marble Arch pub when he encountered an unwelcome guest, Conor McGregor. The former UFC champion was excited about his new whiskey brand, Proper 12. McGregor wanted everyone to try try his drink even though Mr. Keogh had already refused politely. Not taking no for an answer, McGregor insisted that he try it, but Mr. Keogh just didn't feel like trying the whiskey, leading McGregor to become increasingly frustrated with the situation. So he decided to punch the man just because he didn't want to drink his new whiskey. Fortunately, it was caught on camera and McGregor was fined £1,000. He then had to do the thing he hated the most, apologize. But clearly he didn't mean it because afterward, McGregor bought the pub, and it was reported that he banned Mr. Keogh from returning to the place. Well, it's not like poor Mr. Keogh would even want to go back to that pub after what happened anyway. Next, fight after fight, McGregor finally got his chance to settle a score with Khabib Nurmagomedov at UFC 229 in October 2018. Despite McGregor putting up a tough fight, Nurmagomedov won after 4 rounds of intense competition. But it was the events that transpired after the fight ended that became more memorable than the action in the octagon itself. Khabib hopped out of the cage and began fighting with McGregor's team, while the Irishman did the same inside the cage. The brawl that followed was chaotic and resulted in a 6-month ban for McGregor as well as a hefty fine of £60,000. Despite this, McGregor couldn't help but boast about getting in the last punch of the night, which was on Nurmagomedov's cousin. Moving on, his bottle fight. McGregor and Nate Diaz were supposed to have a rematch in August 2020, but their press conference quickly descended into chaos. The two got into an argument and started throwing bottles at each other, with McGregor then proceeding to throw cans of UFC-sponsored Monster Energy drink. In response to the incident, McGregor was initially fined £120,000 for his action, but this amount was later reduced to half after he agreed to serve 50 hours of community service. Coming up, he attacked a referee. After McGregor and his teammate Charlie Ward defeated John Redman at Bellator 187, McGregor was overcome with excitement and leaped into the ring to celebrate. His enthusiasm caused some confusion since he wasn't an official cornerman of Ward's, and officials had to intervene in order to hold the notorious one back. Mark Goddard, the referee at the fight, quickly noticed what was going on and tried to control the situation. Redman even wanted to continue the fight, but because of how crazy McGregor was acting, it was decided that ending the match would be best. The incident left everyone in a state of shock as McGregor bounded around the octagon like a man possessed and even allegedly slapped one of the commissioners. It's safe to say this episode marked an unforgettable night. Next, Mr. Profanity. During the opening press conference between Floyd Mayweather and McGregor, the champ wore a suit tailored by David August Heel. At first, it looked like a normal suit, but when you looked closely, the stripes actually had the F word written all over it. Heel took the stand to explain the design of his fight suit. According to Heel, the idea came from our team internally. They used that word because of its shock factor, and we guess it really worked out in the end. Finally, he's racist. Back in August 2017, when McGregor hadn't made his boxing debut against Mayweather yet, he found himself in trouble over some of his remarks before the fight. He shouted at Mayweather, "Dance for me, boy," and then added that Mayweather was half black from the belly button down. Obviously, this did not go down well, and people started accusing him of being racist. McGregor quickly denied any racism, but did apologize. But people didn't really take his apology seriously because he started making a bunch of excuses, saying he's just human and that it was just a slip of the tongue. Well, that's it for today's video. So do you think Lobov deserves a share of McGregor's successful whiskey brand? Make sure to let us know in the comments below. As always, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and we'll see you on the next one.